Yo, welcome back. Welcome back. I had to be at home for this one. Um, yeah, new apartment, you know, pretty cool. But anyways, man versus bear, right? Let's get into it. Reason why I wanted to talk about this one, it's been buzzing on the internet. A lot of people been talking about it, and I'm gonna let y'all know this right now. Put y'all up on game and put y'all in better perspective, especially men on this. I want y'all to understand. I don't want y'all to shame anybody, bash anybody. Oh, you stupid this, you stupid that. This ain't that type of vibe. I don't move like that. And people that watch my channel, I hope y'all don't. And if y'all do, maybe I'll change y'all mind. Anyways, right? So, man versus bear. A lot of people been going around, been asking this question: would women rather have an encounter with a man or with a bear in the wilderness, in the forest, stuff like that, right? And a lot of women surprisingly said the bear, right? So at first I didn't really think about it, but I was like, man, common sense. Obviously, you'll end up with the guy. You know what I'm saying? You'd rather be with the guy. But I really had to think about it. So I'm here now to tell y'all. Okay, right? Let me put y'all in perspective. Gotta sit back and, you know, gotta get right, man. I already know. But anyways, if Kia, right? If Kia basically, I ain't even gonna start like that. I ain't gonna talk. Ain't gonna talk about no Kia, right? Let me see why the woman picked the bear instead of the man. Their reasoning was because they said the men are capable of doing much more harm to them than the bear. If they encounter the bear, yeah, they know they died. They dead. Ain't no coming back. You feel me? But the men are capable of doing so much things worse than death. And that's why they say they'll run to, you know, they'll rather run into the bear. See, now men are saying, yo, like, what do you mean? There's a very small percentage of guys that, you know what I'm saying, do stuff like that, right? And here's my example to this, right? If Kia told you, the car, and said, or Toyota, anyone, right? If they told you Toyota Camry, 2023 Toyota Camrys had to do a complete recall of their cars because 0.01% of Toyota Camrys, 2023s, were exploding on people on the highways while they were driving, right? If you realize that you witnessed that as a person, right? It has happened to your neighbor, your friends, whatever, right? Your sister, right? You would think Toyota is a terrible car company, wouldn't you? Right? And you probably wouldn't drive them at all, right? Right? This has happened to many other car models before too, so keep it in mind. The fact of the matter is, these car companies knew they had to do a total recall of those cars to bring them back to see what's the problem. So even if you bought them, they had to bring them back because they didn't want anything like that happening to people. Of course not. Why? Because it would be terrible for their business. People would say they sell bad products. Let me relate that. If a small percentage of men, right, were doing heinous acts to women, right, to vast amount of women, a lot of women would be impacted by it through the news, right, to media. They would see it and would be fearful of men. Men, what I want y'all to understand is that you cannot rationalize fear. Fear and rationality does not mix. If I told you that I don't like roller coasters because I'm afraid of them, it doesn't matter what roller coaster you've been on that's gentle, how safe it is, how nobody ain't died from it, right? Or this and that, right? It doesn't matter what logic you could explain to me why this roller coaster, is a good time. If I told you I'm afraid of it, that's all that matters. Let me get to it. Women have fear, are fearful of men. That's the truth. Women are fearful of men. You cannot conceptualize it. Why? Because you walk through this earth as a man, and you aren't fearful of anything. You won't say, hey, I'm going to the store real quick. Dang, what if this woman attacks me today? Matter of fact, amongst our peer group of guys, we even laugh and tease about getting beat up by a girl and how embarrassing it would be. It's embarrassing because we know in the back of our heart and our mind, it's not supposed to happen. It's a very rare, if not occurrence, that ever happens, right? We get to laugh about stuff like that. They don't. As a unit, as a collective, they don't. On the other end, they're fearful of us. So these are things they think about every day, even though it never happens to them. So, going back to that example with the Kia, one subset of things happening, enough to go on the news, right? Enough to shake the place up, is enough for Toyota or Kia to do a recall on their cars because they don't want to ruin their name. It's the same thing. If a couple guys are out there, a very small percentage of guys are out there, are doing terrible, heinous acts to women, you feel me? Women will be fearful of the product itself, of the man itself. That's it. That's all. So that's topic one. I just want to give y'all perspective and make y'all understand this. Here's the second one that I want to get y'all to understand. You're probably watching this video either on your phone, on your laptop. Maybe you're at work, maybe you're at home chilling, maybe you're at your friend's house, right? Y'all watching it together, right? You feel me? I don't got that much subscribers, so I don't even know I'm hyping myself up. But anyways, right? Y'all are probably watching this video in an environment that's calm, chilling, that you could watch a video in, right? With under Wi-Fi. You get what I'm trying to get at here, right? You're a civilized person, right? So, do you think you'll be that same civilized person in an animalistic environment? You have to ask yourself that. In the wilderness, you do not have any resources whatsoever. Maybe or maybe you don't have food. And if you did have food, you probably had to do something that you won't normally do to do it, right? To have food, to cook, right? You probably have to hunt something down and kill it, right? You get where I'm going at with this, right? You will be more animalistic in nature. So let's take it years back where we never had all these resources and I couldn't just buy an apartment where I'm at now and, you know what I'm saying, and be cool, right? And, live a regular civilized life. You feel me? Let's go back to the days where we had to take it from other people, Yeah. You won't be the same civilized person that's like, hey, man, I don't know why she wouldn't choose me. I'm civilized. I abide by the law. And I get this. I'm a black man. And they used to criminalize me. They still do criminalize me all the time. You feel me? They called us rapists and all that growing up. Hell, if I whistled at a woman back then, terrible things were going to happen to me. Right? Y'all know this, right? Let's get back to the topic. Us men will be more animalistic and power driven in nature, right? And tap in to being feral beings, right? Doing what we have to do to survive. We will have different needs because we're under different circumstances. You see what I'm saying? No, I'm not saying, every guy is gonna, do this heinous crime. No, I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is, back then, through the history of time, when we never had as much as what we did now, we used to take it from others And it used to be normal to a set subgroup of people. People used to pillage villages all the time and take whatever they could get just for the fun of it. It wasn't governed back then. I want y'all to put that in perspective. We not having as much or not having strict law, you feel me, to enforce things like this, right? Is similar to you being in the forest. So keep that in mind to factor this in, right? So let's factor the bear in this equation. Now, here goes Mr. Bear, Mr. Brown Bear. Doesn't care about anything. If it sees you and it's hungry, it's over for you, right? Mr. Bear is hungry. Let's go back to the car equation, right? Men and women out there who are watching this video, let's go back to the car equation, right? I told you about Kia and Toyota doing a recall on their cars because a very small percentage is bound to explode on you while driving, correct? What if I told you the town that you are in right now was gonna explode in 15 minutes and you needed to evacuate, and the only cars, or if not a car, was in town was a Kia or a Toyota? Yeah, the ones that explode on you has a small percent chance of exploding on you, right? You see, in this environment, we would say, hey, I don't want this car because I heard terrible things about it. It's a dangerous car. I don't want anything to do with it, right? Because there's so many other options. But now your other option is death in 15 minutes, guaranteed. Oh yeah, well, how do you know it's guaranteed? You know, the bear could this, the bear could that. The bear runs faster than you, right? The bear swims faster than you. The bear is much stronger than you. You feel me? And there's nothing you can do physically with a bear, especially if you have no weapons, right? The bear is the nuke ready to destroy the town. The truth is, y'all, people would be fighting tooth and nail for that same Kia that has a small percent chance of burning you alive. Because you and your nature and your instinct, your natural instincts keep you alive every day. So no matter how bad or whatever you think the male is or whatever, right? Your instinct is at least to stay alive for as long as you could. That's why you don't go down dark corners. That's why when you see a truck, you get out the damn way. Instinctively, you want to stay alive, right? So, with that being said, I'm going to get into another topic. Just like how I explained that Kia is in a certain situation where they have to recall their cars, let's go back to refer to the thing I was comparing it to, right? The analogy, you know, the men, right? Because it was an analogy made for the dangerous men that's out here that commit heinous crimes. You see that on the news all the time, and you know what happens all the time, right? But you know what else happens all the time? Car accidents. Car accidents happen all the time. We see it all on the news. Somebody lose their life. Multiple people lose their life. People die from car accidents all the time, sadly. Injured, you feel me? All that. And we see it all the time. We still get in that damn car and drive off to wherever we need to go. Why? Because there's a benefit to it. See, we're being benefited by driving our cars because we're either going to something, right? Or we're going to get something in return. Whether that's keep our jobs, you feel me? Whether that's, you feel me, picking up something to eat, whether, you know, we're meeting up with friends. It's a benefit. Once I get to my destinations, I'm fulfilled. Even if it's to run errands, it's something that I need. It's a benefit to you. So despite the fact that car accidents happen all the time, you're willing to take a risk. Here's what I'm relaying this back to, right? Women don't see a benefit in a man, a strange man that's in the forest. They don't. That's the issue, right? When they don't see a benefit, that means that there's nothing that that man could do that's positive. Y'all, women are influenced to think that they are no benefits to be attained by a strange man. You feel me? Because if they were ever slightly a benefit factored into the equation, they would not have said the bear, because the bear is instant death, right? So if they're factoring in a positive benefit, what would be a positive benefit running into a guy? Well, I don't know. Maybe you and that stranger guy, maybe he knows how to navigate the forest better than you do. Maybe he has a hut, right? To where we don't have to be out in the first place. Maybe he has weapons for you to fight with, right? Maybe, just maybe, he might be a love interest, right? Hell, a strange guy could be Tarzan. And if you put the bear, the brown bear, up against Tarzan, you know who they picking. They picking Tarzan all day. But that is another video topic, right? Because they see benefit in Tarzan, right? But they don't see a benefit to a strange man. Just a regular strange man. He's automatically assumed to be a predator or the worst kind of man in humankind. And to this leads me to the last point. If you and that man were in the wilderness together, right? As a woman, if you're watching this video, if you and that man were in the wilderness together and y'all ran into a bear, and maybe that man is faster than you are and you tried to run, right? And the bear focuses you instead of that man. I'm going to ask you this. Would you want the worst mammal on the planet that could do the most heinous things to you, right? Do one of the bravest acts in the history known to man in saving you or make an attempt to save you? Would you want that man to help you if a bear was attacking you? If your answer is yes, you've expected the most dangerous, the most heinous mammal on this planet, potentially, to do the greatest, kindest act, the bravest act of all time, which is saving you, right? Like I said, that's not factored in because of your perception of men. See, addressing your fear is, it's to be true. You have a right to be fearful, but not factoring in positive outcomes. It's your negative outlook on how you view the party, how you view men. I'm not shaming you, and I hope men don't condemn you, but I want people to understand. I want people to understand that there's a other issue that's in line that needs to get in line. But yeah, interesting. I just wanted to talk about that. Like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, let me know if you got any, issues, problems, girl issues, dude issues, all that, man. You feel me? But all right, y'all take it easy.